Medical marijuana card holders can't buy firearms. What is this all about? What is this? This is America, right? You can't smoke weed and have a gun? What are they saying here? I need more information. Apparently, if you have a medical marijuana card, the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals says that you can't buy a gun. The court ruled 3-0 on Wednesday. 3-0, that's unanimous. That a ban preventing medical marijuana card holders from purchasing firearms is not in violation of the Second Amendment, the Associated Press reports. There are 9 western states under the appeals court's jurisdiction, including Nevada, where the case originated. A lawsuit was filed in 2011 by Nevada resident S. Rowan Wilson after she tried to purchase a gun for self-defense. She was denied based on a federal ban on the sale of guns to users of illegal drugs. Though marijuana has been legalized in some places on a state-by-state basis, it remains illegal under the federal law. Blah. The court maintained that drug use raises, quote, raises the risk of irrational or unpredictable behavior with which gun use should not be associated. Well, I have lately been of the mindset where a little bit of gun control needs to be enacted because when you keep seeing shootings every week, mass shootings in our country, it raises alarms. And so in my opinion, some sort of gun control should be considered. This is not the kind of gun control I was thinking of, though. This is like kind of strange gun control, really. It makes no sense to me because alcohol is a drug, and let me tell you something. Alcohol and guns together, that's not a very good wedding, right there, I'll tell you. Much more dangerous than marijuana and guns. The people that I know that smoke marijuana are the most unviolent people that I know. That's just how it is. And I would venture to assume that most of the potheads you know are extremely unviolent. They're just not. So to equivocate the use of marijuana to more violence, as they say in this quote, the risk of irrational, unpredictable behavior. I mean, when it comes to marijuana, you just obviously don't know how marijuana works. You obviously have never smoked it or ingested it, because that's not how marijuana works. It's funny, the people that make the laws surrounding marijuana have never smoked this shit, obviously. If they did, they wouldn't say such things. This stuff comes out of, the things that they say about it comes out of complete ignorance. Complete ignorance. And they're not getting it from the world of science either, because science has gone the other way with it. Science is now, for the most part, pro-marijuana because they're seeing all sorts of healing properties that come from marijuana. It has all sorts of amazing qualities. Not just healing, creativity. It intensifies sexual intercourse as well. It does so many fantastic things. What it doesn't do is make you want to go pick up a gun and run around the neighborhood and shoot people. No, it doesn't. Opposite, actually. Opposite. You'd be horrified by violence when you're high on marijuana. Violence is despicable to one when you're on marijuana. If you're ever high around a fight, you want to just run away and flee and go curl up in your bed in a safe zone. Yeah. This is ridiculous. Now, the attorney representing Wilson said that he plans to appeal the decision. He says, we live in a world where having a medical marijuana card is enough to say you don't get a gun, but if you're on the no-fly list, your constitutional right to have a gun is still protected. Yeah. I mean, we see, there's just so many, we just can't get it together. Okay, obviously. So if you smoke weed, can't have a gun. But if you're on the no-fly list, which usually is a serious situation, oh yeah, totally have a gun. There's no rule against that. You see the problem here? When I say I want some gun reform, I want stuff like, hey, if you're on the no-fly list, yeah, you shouldn't be able to purchase a gun. If you've ever been convicted of a violent crime in the past, you should not be able to have a gun. So if you smoke a joint here and there, I mean, you want a gun for self-defense? I'm totally for that. Now, the kind of gun that you're allowed to have, that's a whole other issue that I won't get into on this particular episode, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous! A marijuana law expert at the San Diego's Thomas Jefferson School of Law expects that this ruling won't be the last we see of this issue. He told the AP that the ruling may be challenged by people who use medical marijuana who will argue that they shouldn't be lumped with other drug users in terms of concerns about violence. Correct. Absolutely. And if you're going to talk about drug use, how about prescription pills, and how you could be someone who has a prescription pill that you take on a regular, be it some sort of strong painkiller, possibly even a psychiatric drug of some sort, and you could still get a gun. No problem. That's not a problem. But so the marijuana use, I mean, what are you talking about here? They don't even lump like these prescription pills into the same category as drug use. They don't. Isn't that fucked up? That's so weird. That's so weird, because the fallout from taking painkillers is so much worse than marijuana. In every level, in every aspect, it's so much worse. Oh my God. You driving on painkillers? Drive on painkillers. I mean, then drive when you're high. See the difference. Major difference. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I should put out there that that's obviously my stance on it. So what do you guys think, my fellow weirdos? Do you think that you should be able to have a medical marijuana card, be someone who uses marijuana, and which is a plant, by the way, not a drug. Let's talk about this for a second, because I think we're having a battle of language here. When you call things that are plants drugs. Hey, wait a minute here. Wait, let's just take a step back. It's a plant, okay? It's a plant that's been used thousands and thousands of years. So yeah, to lump it in the same category as drugs, which they're still doing, people that are living in the past obviously are doing this, I think that's a mistake. So I put it out there. What do you guys think of marijuana use and owning a gun? What's the deal? What's your thumbs up, thumbs down? And it comes back to the whole, we'll never get this straight, but the state laws are independent from the federal laws, and obviously in this case the court consulted and went to the federal law instead of the state law to make this decision. So that's a big problem here, when the states are operating separately from the federal, and the federal is then having this sort of overhauling ruling and influence. Another whole issue. Marijuana, we could just do a whole half-an-hour episode on marijuana. But yeah, it's something that's I'm very passionate about, and we should discuss this. So please call into Weird AF News, 646-450-2012. Email me, funnyjones@gmail.com, or you can DM me at Instagram. So on Instagram, @funnyjones, Twitter, @funnyjones, and Facebook, Comedian Jonesy.